Happening right now, Secretary of State Tillerson at the UN Security Council. The focus of today's visit there, North Korea. Meanwhile, President Trump says this about the conflict with Kim Jong-un. Roll tape.
There's a chance that we could end up having a major conflict with North Korea. Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely, says the president. And look at this new propaganda video from North Korea. It shows the White House in the crosshairs and the U.S. carrier going up in flames. That's propaganda from North Korea. Look who's with us, the author of the new book, Dear Reader, the unauthorized autobiography of Kim Jong-il. His name is Michael Malice, and he's with us in New York. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Stuart.
Kim Jong-il is the father, was the father,
Correct.
of today's leader, Kim Jong-un.
Correct.
There's a great deal of speculation about Kim Jong-un, the current leader. Is he crazy or is he rational? Which is it?
He's extremely rational. In fact, when Kim Jong-il took over for his father, the great leader Kim Il-sung, his campaign slogan was, "Do not expect any change from me." This was on all the billboards in North Korea. So Kim Jong-un was, the eldest son, Kim Jong-nam, who was recently murdered, was passed over because he wanted to change. He wanted to have open relationships. He wanted to denuclearize. And Kim Jong-un promised to stay the course. So they've been following the same script for 70 years, while the rest of the world thinks that they're insane, while they play us like a fiddle.
So you think he is rational enough to understand his position and respond to diplomacy?
Well, not only is he rational enough, I went to Pyongyang to do research for my book. They boast about their strategies, just like any supervillain, like in the movie The Incredibles. So they talk about how their strategy is, we will engage in bombast, but we will always have an escape hatch for our adversaries. For example, we'll say, we've never seen such an insult. This is humiliating. We won't suffer this. But if you want to give us some oil to allow us to save face, we'll certainly consider it. But so they brag about this.
But President Trump is not going to do that. He's not going to feed them or give them oil. He's standing very firm. He's upping the ante.
But he's also a deal maker, so he's absolutely rattling his saber. But if you looked at Syria, there was no notice there. He struck and no one saw it coming. The fact that he and Vice President Pence and so many members of the administration are so publicly escalating the rhetoric is telling me that this is a rhetorical strategy.
Now, I'm going to ask you to speculate, but nonetheless, it's a good question. If the North Koreans were to launch a missile, we don't know what's on top of it, but they launched a missile and it was heading out to sea, and we shot it down, and we can do that.
Yes.
What do you think the North's response would be?
Their only choice is to continually escalate, because their entire propaganda is that we, according to them, we started the Korean War, that we're waiting 60 years to finish the job, and Kim Jong-un is the only man keeping the North Koreans safe from the Americans coming in and killing them all. So if there's any kind of melee, they have to step up, or else it looks like weakness, which is the worst possible thing for them.
So they've got to meet our challenge.
Correct.
Which means escalation.
Correct.
Inevitable.
Inevitable. On the other hand, you have China, who doesn't want 25 million people who don't speak Chinese crossing the Tumen and Yalu rivers into Manchuria. So they clearly have diplomatic relationships and are talking to North Korea and are trying to do some kind of negotiation on the back end.
Do you think the Chinese can calm them down?
They've tried, but North Korea revels in the fact that they're a small country the size of Pennsylvania, and they're basically pushing around China, Japan, South Korea, and the U.S. This is a point of pride for them, and with good reason.
You think we're going to war?
No, there's no way we're going to go to war with them. The president is not erratic. He's not stupid, and they have nuclear weapons. And Seoul has 10 million people, and it's just south of North Korea.
Michael Malice, very interesting book and a fine appearance today. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, check that big board again. We're down 30 points. It's still pretty much a go-nowhere mark.